We're a little early, but happy Kwanzaa. This week we discuss what Kwanzaa is and explore it within the lens of Everybody Hates Chris and the Rugrats. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
And you're not only listening to episode 34 of our podcast, this is also the second of 3 holiday season episodes of We Used to Talk About This at Work. So we are hitting the ground running. It is not Kwanzaa time, but we had a discussion a few weeks ago, Matt, about how it was important that we cover all the holidays, if that's what we're going to do.
Correct. We didn't want to leave anyone behind or leave anyone out.
Yes. So it was a bit of a struggle to find somebody that practiced Kwanzaa. So we have a guest that does not practice Kwanzaa, but it's still gonna be a fun time.
Yes, I learned a lot about Kwanzaa that I did not expect doing research for this episode.
Same. So we like to welcome my cousin Vera. Hi, Vera.
Hey there.
So, Vera, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Outside of being your cousin, I don't practice Kwanzaa, barely Christmas. I don't know, just turned 40, feel like 140 at times. in St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. And yeah, I'm just excited to be on here.
It's always nice when we invite people on and it's not a struggle to get them to come on. I was like, you want to come on? You're like, sure. That's what we appreciate.
It was that easy.
It was that easy.
You didn't get none of that. I don't like what I sound like, or what am I supposed to say? And he'd be like, it's just a conversation. Well, I don't know what to say. Like what we're doing right now, going back and forth. That's what you do with the podcast,
right?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to look like. It's an audio podcast, so you don't have to worry about what you look like. You didn't get none of that feedback.
Not with Vera. I have gotten it when I was trying to fill the seat for this episode, but not from Vera.
Right. Everybody was like, I gotta work. What time you gotta work? What time the podcast? Nah, what time you gotta work?
Whenever the podcast starts, that's exactly when I gotta work.
It's crazy how that lines up,
Yeah.
It's not a minute before or after.
So Vera, during the pre-show, you were talking about your apartment.
Oh yeah. So I've been here just hitting 2 years. Like the first month, few weeks, like I was telling you before, I was in bed just like looking at TV, and I heard a loud crash where it sounded like all of the pots and pans that I have on the bottom cabinets all came out. Like it sounded like the whole thing came out. And I'm expecting like all kinds of stuff to be all over the floor, stuff to be broken. I walk in, nothing's touched. Everything is exactly where it is. And I was like, oh, okay. All right.
It sounds like one of those scenarios in Paranormal Activity.
That's the same thing I was thinking.
Yeah, it was just so loud. Like I was convinced that I was going to be cleaning up stuff for the night. Like it sounded like everything that I had on the shelves came out at once. Nothing moved. And then it was another time where still in bed, and it sounded like somebody was moving all the silverware that I have in this holder. Like it sounded like every single knife, fork was just being moved around. Like somebody was like moving it. And I go in, open up the drawer, nothing's touched, nothing's moved. And yeah, I was fine with that because like I told you, hey, if it don't affect my sleep, I'm good. Or if it doesn't affect my direct deposit, I'm good. Like I can pretty much do life outside of those issues. I mean, outside of those actions.
Those are true life goals. As long as it don't mess my direct deposit up, I'm straight.
Yeah, or your sleep. You need those two things. if you have those two things in life, you could pretty much navigate through life.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't watch shows and all that. That's pretty much my mother's lane. But yeah, I do. I do. I've had a encounter or two. I just never had it like
Whoa,
so well. I never had it at home.
roll back, Vera. You had an encounter?
What? Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
This is not clicking. I'm sorry.
I thought. Wait, my mom and dad didn't show you the picture?
I'm sorry. You took a picture of a ghost.
Not on purpose.
Please share this story.
Okay, so a few years ago, I was trying to come up with a creative way for my mom and I to hang out for her birthday. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let's just go to old homes of St. Louis where they give you tours. And I got like a lineup of all these houses. They were pretty cool. And it was the last one we went. No. It was like the second one we went to. And it's downtown, not far from where New Life Evangelistic Center is. It's like you can step outside of New Life's doors, look to the right, and this old home is down there called the Campbell House. And so we went on a tour and all of this stuff. And so we go in this one bedroom. Backstory: the family like abandoned the house, so all of their original items are in there too. So it's just like you see what they saw, like nearly exactly the way the house looked when they were living there looks now. And so we go into this room, and my mom was like, oh, take a picture. And we asked the tour guide, and he was like, oh, normally we're not supposed to because flashes could like damage all this old stuff, but it's okay, it's just us. And it was like, okay, cool. So take the picture, going about our business. And about a year or two later, I'm going through that camera, just trying to like clean up photos and all of this. And I come across that picture. And I started zooming in because I was like, oh, that mirror looks weird behind her. And so I zoom in and I zoom in, and it is a very defined like little boy in the picture. Like it's in the mirror. You can make it out, and the little boy is dressed like Victorian style.
Jeez.
Wow.
So
yeah,
you still got this picture?
Yeah, my mom, I think she took the camera. She took it back to the people there, and they were like, "Oh my God, we never seen anything like this." And they tried to like take pictures to try to gain the image again, and never could.
I mean, if you can forward that, we will put it out there for the listeners. So that is, I've never heard this story before here.
I thought we told you that was some years ago too.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Yeah. And in that room, what was crazy is the whole time that I was there, I felt a tightness in my chest that just would not go away. And it was like as soon as we got up out of that room, it went away. I felt fine and everything. But yeah, you can make out that it is a little boy in this mirror that she is standing in front of. And people are like, oh, that could have been anything. And I was just like, okay, there were three people in the room. It was myself that took the picture, the tour guide behind me, my mother in front of the camera, and I'm taking a picture. And then this little boy, I was like, okay, how did a fourth person get here when we started off with three of us? So yeah, that was weird. Wow, I suck. Sorry I didn't tell you that.
Yeah. Shit. All right. You have proof of ghosts. All right.
Yeah, giddy up. Yeah, but it's called the Campbell House. It's pretty cool. I mean, like, well, this was pre-COVID, so who knows, if they still do tours or whatnot. But I didn't even have to make an advance appointment. I just
like roll on up in there.
I think I might have called the day of or something like that, and it was maybe $5 or $10 to walk through it. It's a 2-story house. Kind of sort of reminded me of a row house, but it was pretty big.
Okay. So not on the level of a haunted house, but you also had a wild experience at Walmart today?
Oh yeah, that has nothing to do with a haunted house.
Possessed people?
It was just funny because I needed a new trash can lid for my trash can in the kitchen here. And so we were there trying to go get lids and all of this stuff. And we was like, oh, why don't we just buy a whole new trash can? So get ready to get it and lift up the lid. And inside it is chicken bones, mac and cheese, like, and
People
I
just
lose
eat
it.
stuff, dumping it in there.
Yeah. And it's in the trash can that's for sale. Like you can't mistake this for a public trash can. And I lose it. Like I'm laughing hysterically. Like my back and stomach are hurting and I can't even hardly stand up. I'm laughing so hard. I'm just like, yep, this is all of Walmart. Welcome. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was
It's not
weird.
stealing if you don't leave the store with it. So you just eat this food here, and then it's okay.
What
True.
about the food in your stomach?
Oh my god. I was just like, this is too much. This is Walmart. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
that's
god.
Walmart. That's normal for Walmart there.
You should have went to
See,
Target.
Mm-hmm. They
I
step it up a little
know,
bit there. I mean, you would have paid
true,
more, but you know.
but it would have been sans the chicken bones and mac and cheese in a freaking trash can for sale. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was crazy. No.
So, Matt, did you finish True Story?
Finally finished up True Story on Netflix, starring Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes. Um, it's weird because he plays his exact self now, but he just does. When I first watched, okay, I do spoilers. Fuck it. But you guys plan on watching it?
I don't.
No.
All right, cool. I'm about to do spoilers. So basically, he plays himself, comedian, blah blah blah, but he goes by the name of Kid, and basically he meets a chick, and she ends up dying overdoses. So then his brother Wesley Snipes um, finds a guy to clean up the body, and this, and that, and the guy extorts Kevin for $6 million. Kevin don't like that. He kills that guy, and then it's all about now his brothers is like with we'll just say a mafia where now they're looking for their dead brother and everything else like that. And it's just based off. It's weird because everything is Kevin Hart, but he's killing the motherfuckers and doing shit like that. So it was weird. But there's a plot twist at the end. It doesn't happen how you think it happens. First, I was kind of on the fence about it, seeing Kevin Hart kill somebody, but through it gets better. So if you ain't nothing I say, you must watch. But it's a limited series, only like 7 or 8 episodes. So if you bored and you need something, I recommend watching it. It wasn't bad, especially since it was like a serious role. There was no jokes.
That's very rare for Kevin Hart.
Yeah, but
Right.
but he plays himself though, or a comedian, financial.
Yeah. That's very on brand for Kevin Hart.
Maybe he is killing people in his real life then. We just don't know about it. It's called True Story.
He's trying to let us know before the news comes out.
Exactly, because it's basically he got a divorce. He has kids. It's like basically his whole life. Like
he
how
he
he was
got the
married before.
paparazzi caught him cheating with a woman in the car.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's basically well, not that detailed, but basically kind of just like that. But yeah, nice little watch. And then the other day, my son was playing a little piano game on his iPad, and the wife plays the piano. And I was like, I should get them a piano for Christmas. But the only problem is they didn't have one on base. And then I didn't know the Japanese store to go out in town. So I was like, fuck. Because it was supposed to be a surprise.
Did
So
you want
then
to
I
get
was
them
like,
a piano or a keyboard?
sorry, keyboard.
Because I'm like, a piano. I didn't know you had that kind of money, sir.
I mean, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right out here in Japan. I mean, but not that all right. I'm doing okay.
Okay.
But yeah, now but I wanted a full, because a piano has 86, 89 keys. And you get regular keyboard only has like 40 or 50. So I wanted to get at least 60 something. So if he does pick it up, he'd be able to transition good to a good piano. But I was supposed to be a Christmas surprise, but I don't know the stores out in town that has it. So I told the wife so she could take me to a spot. So I just picked that up last night, and the wife played on it all night last night. Then my son played it this morning. So I don't know. Maybe it might be a Mozart. I don't know who plays the piano.
Yeah, Mozart played piano.
Okay, yeah,
And
something
Beethoven.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those people. Yeah.
I mean,
So we'll
Mozart was crazy as fuck. So I don't know if you want that one. And then Beethoven cut his ear off.
No, I thought that was Van Gogh.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
I thought that was the artist.
You're right.
So we'll see. This is his first instrument, so we'll see how this goes. And also, they had other instruments. I was like, ooh, they have a saxophone. Lisa plays a saxophone. I was like, maybe I should learn how to play the saxophone. I looked at those saxophone prices, $1,300. I was like, nah, I just stick with this keyboard.
So you're trying to have your own little family band over there, huh?
We better do the Jackson's 5 around here.
I was thinking that.
You're gonna be mad in the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a star of this band.
All right. So at the time of posting this episode, I would have turned 35. And
you old.
I know, right? I'm just it's just gray hair everywhere.
I remember when you were 5, so you think you're old.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I don't remember that at all, but that's fair.
Yeah, I do. Big time.
But yeah,
how does that make you feel that you turned 35?
Tired. Just fucking tired, man. It's like, I don't know, like, just speaking for myself, I'm not going to speak for either of you, but when you're growing up, you're so excited for your birthday and all that. And it's like, now I'm like, I don't fucking care. That's just another day,
Right.
So it's like, it's just another number I got to remember if somebody asks me how old I am.
Man, for the longest time, I couldn't remember. I had to do the math to figure out how old I am. I was like, am I 36, 37, 38? How old am I?
Right.
Another thing about birthdays too is like, even if you were happy for your birthday, you expect other people to be happy for your birthday too.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, this is the day I was born. Let's go out. And now you want other people to be happy just because you was born this day so they could go out too.
Yeah. And they're like, I don't care. Also, I can't make it. But,
right.
God bless.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking fake ass friends. So I watched a show on Netflix. It just dropped on December 10th. It's called Saturday Morning All-Star Hits. Have either of you heard of this show?
I seen the little trailer part for it.
Okay.
Nope.
So this show is made for Gen X and younger millennials. So it is you remember like late 80s, early 90s when you'd have like that block of cartoons, but you'd also have like hosts introducing each show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's basically kind of like an Adult Swim riff on that, where it's like these twins, they introduce these shows that are kind of like stuff we recognize. Like there's a show that's kind of like Dino the Last Dinosaur. And there's a show kind of like Thundercats, but it's violent as fuck, like more violent that would have been allowed on television back then. Like they got like a bootleg Care Bears. There's even like a bootleg Bobby's World. And you know how like on Bobby's World, the show would start and Bobby's doing something. And then Howie would come on and be like, this is going to be a good one, guys. Like do a little narration, but you see him. But like the joke was like he kept coming on doing it. So like...
Is it just, are they showing like just clips of these shows or is like actual episodes?
It's actual episodes. So like the cartoons are like maybe like 10 minutes long. So they'll you'll get like 3 cartoons in there. And it also would be like the little host doing stuff, but like there's a narrative to all of it. Basically, one of the hosts of like the little show that's introducing these cartoons, he starts to get like a little bit famous. And his co-host on that show is his twin brother. So like he's blowing up. And everybody's like, who is this dickhead over here? And then like there's like also a scandal happening because like a girl that's on like a show kind of like Blossom, her and her co-star go missing. And so like that stuff's playing in the background. So like the show will be ending, but then like the news thing will cut in talking about like, oh yeah, this actress has gone missing. And like you ride that wave like where you meet the person that is suspected of killing her. Like, is her boyfriend like one of those kind of like new kids on the block type dudes?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really funny show. It's really creative. The only real complaint I have about it is that it's 8 episodes, and I felt like it kind of ended abruptly. Like, I'm sure they're hoping for a second season, but there's like a lot of loose ends still out there. But I'd highly recommend the show.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah. I would too.
All right. So we are really sliding along here, gang. Look at us. All right.
Yeah.
So before we kind of talk about the two shows, we are gonna kind of talk about Kwanzaa. It was started in 1966 by Maulana Karlinga to be the first Pan-African holiday. He said that the goal was to give Blacks, this is a quote, an alternative to the existing holiday and give Blacks an opportunity to celebrate themselves and their history rather than simply imitating the practice of the dominant society. So, Kwanzaa is based upon 7 principles of African heritage: unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Then you got self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems to solve them together. Cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses and to profit from them together. Purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to traditional greatness. Creativity, to do always as much as we can. And finally, faith, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So I feel like that's kind of like novel. But honestly, I don't know a lot of people that have actually celebrate Kwanzaa, like in my personal life. Like Vera and I, we have relatives that celebrated it for some time. I'm not sure if they still celebrate it.
Yeah, that's the part I'm not sure. I thought they might have. I think the last thing I might have heard was a year or so ago. So potentially, yeah, still do.
Okay.
I think it was a couple years ago the last time I heard.
Okay. So, yeah. So, just to dispel that myth, not all Black people celebrate Kwanzaa.
True.
Also, Kwanzaa is usually held between December 26th and January 1st. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a few things going against Kwanzaa that didn't really have it take off. The first of which is that it was started in 1966. So, like, this Kwanzaa is younger than all of our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like in my mind, like I thought this was like something that's been going on for years. Another thing is I thought it was like I don't want to say a real holiday because that's not the right word because it is a real holiday. But I thought it was like a real like African holiday in my mind.
Something started in Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when I learned this dude that was born in Maryland invented it in 1966, I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, one way or another, all holidays are invented by somebody, but I just thought this was like an older holiday that didn't start, quote unquote, mainstream attention till the 60s. But no, that's when it was created.
So yeah, so it's a fairly new holiday, and also there was some controversy because the man that created it was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but he only served 4, and he essentially kidnapped and tortured 2 women because he thought they were conspiring to poison him.
And then not only that, like when you say torture, they had waterboarding. They had somebody else another woman sit on these women's chests while they waterboarded them. So yes, it's kind of hard for a holiday to take off. If you create this holiday and then years later you go to prison for something like that, I can see why people wouldn't want to associate with that.
Be a little bit hesitant to jump on the Kwanzaa train.
Yes.
So that being said, we watched 2 episodes of television shows about Kwanzaa because there's no real good movie content about Kwanzaa out there. Just like it's hard to get some good Hanukkah content, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And so like Christmas is really the dominant one. Like I guess that's the real money maker, I suppose.
Right.
So we watched the Everybody Hates Chris episode from season 3, Everybody Hates Kwanzaa. And we watched the Rugrats episode from season 7. So the description for the Chris episode: Julius talks the family into celebrating Kwanzaa instead of Christmas this year because Kwanzaa is cheaper. Meanwhile, Chris helps Kill Moose find his mother as part of his school Christmas assignment. And then also for Rugrats, when Aunt T visits the Carmichaels to celebrate Kwanzaa, she tells Susie the holiday is a time to honor the legacy of our great people. So I just want to start off. I want to start off this week. So I watched these 2 episodes before I really read into Kwanzaa, and I like the Everybody Hates Chris episode more initially because I was like, okay, this is like a nice narrative. This isn't basically full of flashbacks. This is just okay. We're moving things along. But then once I learned what Kwanzaa was about, I understood why that Rugrats episode was the way it was, about like honoring the family and whatnot.
Yeah.
I still didn't like it, but I understood it more.
Yeah, because it's really, I like, once I understood what Kwanzaa was, then it all makes sense about, it's for the Rugrats one. It's about family and everything. Now I'm thinking about it. Do you think that Kwanzaa's not taking off because they don't have a mascot?
Who's the mascot of Hanukkah?
Well, I'm putting in the same boat as them. But like Christmas, you have Santa Claus. So I'm like, do they need Easter? You have an Easter bunny. Do they need a character for it to be more popular?
That's a good question.
With it?
Wow.
Yeah, it's something to really market it. That's a good question.
Right.
Because the candle thing just looks like the Hanukkah candle thing, which is different colors.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe they need a rebranding for it.
That's a fair point, man.
Yeah, I could see that. Like nothing comes to mind in particular with Kwanzaa outside of like the coloring of African wear.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like I don't. Yeah, there we go. Seriously, and then with Hanukkah, the same thing with the candles being lit, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you can't put it on the t-shirt or sell it as a toy. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but
right. No, like you need more pops and circumstances. Like Christmas, you got the Santa Claus, you got the Christmas tree, you got the lights and everything. Yeah. Maybe they just got to do more to make it a thing to where I was about to say an event, but make it more of a something to get people's attention to want to participate in it.
Make it more marketable, like you said.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because like with Christmas, you could go to the holiday lights or see a tree being lit, but for Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, you're like, oh, we could go home and read about it.
When I'm thinking about even Hanukkah, you have, they go to their
temple
and stuff like that, and that's their event. Mm-hmm. They have the food that they eat, the pancake stuff. So like they have like things for them to do to where I guess for Hanukkah, for everything I read, correct me if I'm wrong, there is no thing you do or whatever. All it is about, you listed the what it's based off of, but there's no like stuff to do. Like even, and Everybody Hates Chris, they dressed up in African garb, but that's not an actual thing that you have to do. They just did it themselves. So I'm like, they need more stuff for people to participate in.
Also, I thought that was funny how Julius was like, let's celebrate Kwanzaa because it's cheaper, but then they bought all that African clothes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was like new outfits.
What were your thoughts on the episodes, Vera?
I actually liked the Rugrats one better.
Okay.
Than Everybody Hates Chris. I thought that one kind of hit home. Well, not hit home, but I think that one felt like more of what Kwanzaa was
Yeah.
supposed to be about to me. I mean, the Everybody Hates Chris one, that was pretty funny, but I felt like um if I was gonna learn about it for the first time, I'd rather have learned about it from the Rugrats one.
That's fair. That's fair. I just wish they would have came out swinging harder. Like that very first Christmas episode of Rugrats, and even that Hanukkah one and Passover, like they came out swinging. But this is like a season 7, season 8 episode, and I personally felt like they were on cruise control a little bit.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that new Rugrats.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
like the visual. What is it like? I don't know.
It's 3D animated.
3D. I do not like that.
Okay.
It was weird.
It's what the kids are into these days.
Yeah, I can see
I
it's
was
not for
saying
me. But I like the old. I mean, when we watched the Hanukkah one, I'm like, this animation is not good. But so I'm like, that animation, just make it more HD.
Kids don't like 2D animation. Like, just speaking specifically, my daughter is my rubric. She hates 2D animation, but she will sit down and watch the shittiest looking 3D animated stuff. Like, she'll sit down and watch new Rugrats. She won't watch it for too long because she prefers some singing with her content. But like, she'll watch that bullshit. Like, she cannot stand 2D and original Rugrats. It's just like how like we are all of a certain age, or we grew up with 2D animation, so like that's kind of what we like.
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought Phil and Lil's mom was gay.
She is in
You
the new
said
one.
wait, what?
But
Oh, it's like, wait a minute, what?
I thought like there was a dude with them. Well,
Wait, you watched that new holiday episode?
no, the one, whatever ones you provided for us.
Okay, so you talking about the
Oh, the
Kwanzaa episode?
dad?
Are you
No,
talking about the
well,
Kwanzaa episode?
yeah. So Phil and Lil's mother is gay, right?
In the new version.
Right. And that was on the Kwanzaa one.
No. The Kwanzaa one's old Rugrats because that's 2D.
Oh, so she's gay in the new one.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, yeah, because on the old one, like she had a man with her, but I was like, hold up, I thought she was gay. But okay,
I mean, right, but like that's the thing. Like in the new one, she still had kids with a man.
Right.
But I think it was
like,
one of those situations where she realized she was gay, and so they got a divorce.
Gotcha.
Wait,
Okay.
back up. Okay, wait, I'm totally ignorant of this. You're talking about this Rugrats?
Okay, so new Rugrats, the new one that
Okay.
just started this year, that's in 3D. They tweaked a lot of stuff. So so let's start with Tommy. Tommy's dad, he is still an inventor, right? So that stays the same for the most part.
Okay.
His wife, Dee Dee, she's a social media influencer now. She's a mommy blogger.
Oh, okay.
Instead of a stay-at-home mom. The grandpa, he isn't some like old war vet. He's like a hippie granddad. And then you got Stu's brother. He is he does something corporate. He's still a corporate asshole. The mom, Angelica's mom, she works for the government. Phil and Lil's mom, she owns a coffee shop and she's gay.
Oh.
And
Okay.
also they made Susie younger in this new version. So she's closer to Tommy's age versus being closer to Angelica's age.
Speaking of that, who was the other kid on the Kwanzaa episode? Who the fuck was that other kid?
You talking about Deal or Chemical? Kiki?
Yeah, the girl. Yeah,
what the
who
fuck's
was
her
that?
name? Hold up. Kimmy. Sorry, Kimmy. So there's three Rugrats movies. In the first one, that's when Deal was born, Tommy's brother. And
that's the one I watched. Okay.
And then the second one, Rugrats in Paris, that's when Chucky's dad meets his second wife, an Asian woman with a daughter, and that's Chucky's stepsister. Kimmy.
Because she didn't say nothing to the very end, and I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? Okay.
Yeah. We can't do Rotten Tomatoes this week because these are TV shows. So what we're going to do is we're going to guess the IMDb score. I'll give you this. So it's going to be 0.7. So out of 10, was the Everybody's Chris episode like a 1.7, a 2.7? Like fill in the blank between 1 and 9.7.
Okay.
Out of 160 ratings, what is the Everybody Hates Chris rating on IMDb?
6.7.
I'm gonna go with 5.7.
It has a 7.7 on IMDb currently.
Oh, okay.
And the Rugrats episode, same deal, 0.7, but this one's out of 71 reviews.
I liked it. I'm going with 8.7.
I go with the same because I'm like, it's hard to tell because I don't know if like the people like Rugrats being progressive and including other holidays in there, or were they hating on it?
So what's your number?
I go with 4.7.
6.7.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like people were closer with me about how like this is a later Rugrats episode.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably weren't feeling it as much. Like comparatively, the Hanukkah one was 7.5.
Okay.
7.5 compared. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna do a trivia question. Then we're gonna do a little dump of trivia, and then we're gonna get on out of here. All right. So the trivia question is related to Rugrats. Angelica's the oldest Rugrat, then Susie. Who is the third oldest Rugrat? So you got Kimmy, Chucky, Tommy, or Phil and Lil.
Chucky.
I have no idea. I'm gonna go with that then. Yeah, sure.
All right. So you guys are both right. Chucky is 2. Kimmy is nearly 2. Lil is older than Phil, followed by Tommy and Dill. And then in 1999, a spinoff of Rugrats was focused on Susie and her family moving to a different town. The series never even made it into production, and no screenshots exist. According to rumor, the concept was canceled to keep the Rugrats growing up together. You know how they did that all grown up show? They wanted to keep her on that.
Got you.
And then I got one little bit of trivia about Everybody Hates Chris. So it says Chris Rock's real family had the mom, the dad, and six brothers and 1 sister, and himself. He said that using 6 brothers and 1 sister would have been weird. So he thought it'd be better to use some of his siblings' personalities and to make 2 siblings for the show. So I found that very interesting.
Wow. I had no idea it was that many of them.
Same. It's like he's a regular Wayans, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, they must have turned the TV off constantly.
Y'all can't shut up.
Radios, everything just cut off. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of personalities.
So do you have anything you want to plug, Vera?
No.
Okay. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks for, being a good sport.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for being on. We appreciate it.
All right.
No problem.
All right. So thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Used to Talk Pod. Come back next week where we finish up our holiday series of movies by talking about our very first documentary, "'Twas the Fight Before Christmas."
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if this was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening. Happy birthday, Chad.
Thanks, Matt.
Happy birthday, cousin.
Thanks, Vera. I'm older now. I'm an old man. I'm old man, Chad.
Oh, geez.